Serious, men of Reddit who have been raped by women. What's your story? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or my friend will visit you. I'm not capable of saying the story here, but just for awareness. My mother, while I was like 8 to 12. Same here, my mother is a waste of oxygen. I was abused physically, mentally and sexually on the daily until I fought back. Then she spun the story and the cops arrested me at 13 for fighting back. I then had to go to a group home and she had the audacity to pick me up from there and send me to a mental hospital. I'm 40 now, have a loving caring wife and 3 great kids. But my mind is eternally fricked. I will not shed one tear when she dies. If you ever need to talk, I'm here. Added. Thank you all for the support. It's nice to know there are good people still out there. It's also nice to have others that have had to deal with shit that I can relate to. Reddit has helped me so much the short time I've been on it. I'm glad you have such a great family. Have you gone to therapy? Your mind does not have to be eternally fricked. Red heart card suit. It took me 6 years of bi-weekly therapy, but over time it healed my brain. It's a tough process, but there is hope. When I was 12, a nurse gave me a routine physical exam and then had me strip naked and lie down on the exam table, saying it was part of the physical. She groped my testicles and fondled my peanuts until I got an erection. She then fingered and digitally penetrated my anus. For decades, I assumed it was just an embarrassing incident. It was only when I posted my experience on a Reddit thread and a bunch of people pointed out I had been assaulted that I recognized what happened. I didn't think I'd post about it again, but the attitude of your friend infuriated me, because it was the same attitude I held that caused me so much shame. After all, if my dong got hard, I must have enjoyed it, right? It's a terrible and demeaning notion, one that's too often internalized by the abused. Aren't women also getting wet during rape? It doesn't mean they enjoyed the experience, it's just the same bodily response to the body being stimulated. I think same holds true for men. I could be wrong. Don't wanna spread fake news. Yes, and they can orgasm too, just like men. It's simply a reaction to stimulation. You have no control over it. It's my understanding that part of the trauma from rape comes from the confusion that stems from the body responding to the physical stimuli while your mind is aware of the traumatic event. I came very close. At a New Year's party a long time ago. Got extremely hammered and passed out in a bathroom. This girl I'd never met before was offering to help me to the bed downstairs, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up to this girl trying to get me hard. I was so drunk, all I could do was sorta push her off, but she wouldn't stop. Eventually a friend of mine popped his head in, and I yelled for him to help me, and he caught on pretty quick and cussed her out until she finally left. Are you my roommate? We had this same exact situation happen at one of our house parties, and that night I looked like an a-hole, because I was yelling at this girl to get the frick out. She was literally crying. People were getting mad at me. The next morning my roommate was like, nah dude. He asked her nicely like 3x and she kept telling him it was fine. Sounds like a good bro that got your back emotionally. You gotta tell us if he is your roommate though, like, I can't handle cliffhangers like that. Was blackout drunk at a party. Got put to bed by a friend. Woke up to a girl bouncing on me. I was 14 and that was my virginity. I didn't feel violated or anything at the time or even today. But I didn't consent at all. Shoot. Had the exact same experience when I was in high school. I was 15. The only person I've ever told is my current, so telling her how I lost my virginity. It wasn't the romantic first time with the person you love story. Some people in the party actually busted into the room laughing and cheering. I'm so glad phones didn't have cameras back then. The girl was in the same year I was in, but she was 2 years older than me and she was a single mom. That last bit sounds about right. My girlfriend at the time decided she wanted to get pregnant regardless of my feelings on the subject, and stopped taking her birth control pills. This resulted in me not touching her for a few months, as I wasn't ready to have kids. One day I came home from work, Having worked 16-hour shifts for 2 weeks in a row, I just hit the shower and went straight to bed where I literally passed out. I woke an hour later with her straddling me, mid-exhale activity. I said no, but she persisted. I then forcibly removed her from me and slept in the living room. Suffice it to say, that relationship came to a halt quickly thereafter. Somehow a majority of the people I've told this think it's funny that I think I was raped because I'm a man and you can't get raped by your girlfriend. Very nearly the same thing happened to me. Girlfriend kept asking me to get her pregnant. She was 18. I was 20 and had no desire for children. I woke up to her one night riding me. I've told people about it and I've told them it's rape, but they say the same thing. Doesn't matter what parts you have, someone engaging in any sexual activity you didn't consent to is rape. Full stop. It's good to see that society is starting to take it seriously. The fact that if you switched these roles and people would be losing their minds, but because you were a man they say you're lying or it can't happen is disgusting. I saw a video recently where a guy and his girlfriend wanted to see how people would react to a sexual assault on a man versus a woman. Not a real one, just acting. The man had people ignore him and laugh at him, telling him he's crazy because she was attractive. Not one person helped. The exact moment he touched the girl and she said no, there were like 5 people Dragon Ball Z teleporting behind him to remove him from her presence. It's just disgusting double standards that, because you're a man you should just deal with it. While a man could easily in most cases fight off a woman, who don't we all just take a guess at what would happen to a guy if he was just seen shoving or hitting a woman away? He would be ganged up on and nobody would believe him. I had a date that led to going back to her house and watching movies, smoking some weed and some drinks. To this day, the most beautiful woman I've ever met and super cool, so I didn't wanna rush anything. I remember drinking one drink, and I got intensely lightheaded and everything was super blurry, and I woke up halfway, I guess is what you would call it. More of a daze really to her on top of me and I passed back out. The next day she was like, I'm so happy that happened and blah blah blah. I didn't speak to her again and got tested. All is well, no herpes or anything, and it's been 9 months and she doesn't have a kid. So I say all is well. But I definitely didn't consent. So sorry she did that to you. Did you report her to the police? It's understandable if you don't want to, but I, and hopefully the whole of this thread, would send you all the strength to do so. Well, I was going to, but while I was getting my HIV tests done the doctors asked me why I was getting them, and I told them I had been raped by a woman. At the point they started laughing, so I didn't really think I had a chance of a case considering a doctor was straight hysterically laughing in my face. Report them. That's disgusting behavior. Here is one for you. My ex-wife hit me in the face with a remote control because we couldn't agree on something to watch. It was unprovoked and I was literally just sitting there. I ended up with a decent size cut on my face. We eventually go to the ER and they asked what happened. I told them. As I'm getting stitches in my face, the doctor was calling the nurses over and the nurses calling more nurses. They were all laughing like crazy. If I was the one that hit her with a remote to get stitches in her face, I would have been in handcuffs. No doubt in my mind. I had a good friend who was doing a couple of months time for some driving offenses. He specifically asked me to look out for his girlfriend whilst he was inside. One night she called and asked if I could come pick her up as she was upset. Not a worry. We went and grabbed some food, went back to my place, watched a movie. She smoked a bit and I had a few drinks. I made a bed up for her on the couch and went to bed. Woke up with her riding me. I was furious. It was rape. There was zero consent on my behalf. I pushed her off me. The first thing she said was, can't wait to tell my friend that she fricked his friend whilst he was in prison. Luckily I told him first, he believed me and kicked her ass to the curb. Everyone thought it was funny as hell, but it wasn't. It made me feel sick and violated. Twisted itch. Just a weird question. It seems like half of these stories are waking up to it. How does that happen? I wake up if someone downstairs is walking a bit too heavy. How does a 100-something pound person get someone's pants down and get them hard and start bouncing on them before they notice? Just a question. I'm a super light sleeper. Liquor, I'd say. Without liquor I wake up instantly to any texts, phone calls, or someone unlocking my door. With liquor, I've passed out on a floor and had people play cards on me. I was 13 or 14 and my buddy asked some friends to come over for a sleepover one weekend. I've been over there a few times already and I enjoyed chilling with him. Yeah, it was fun and his mum was one of those cool moms and bought us all alcohol and we all got wasted. It was my first time getting drunk and I did not handle it well. Had like, I don't know, 4 Mike's hearts, lol. Anyway, all my buddies and I were wasted and everyone started to pass out cause everyone was 13 or so and never had a beer in their life. I was the only one awake and after my friend's mum got blankets for everyone she asked me to come with her. I follow her into her bedroom and she tells me to take off my clothes. I kinda froze up. I didn't know what to do and I just did what I was told. She then took her clothes off and she started to do things to me and told me to do things to her. I didn't know what to do. I was pretty scared, and I just did what I was told. I was a virgin and afterwards I felt pretty freaking disgusted with myself, and still do. Without going into the gory details, I did a lot of stuff that night being brand new to it all. Well, it turned out she did that with a lot of my buddies, all with her son not knowing what was going on. She got arrested and sentenced for it eventually. Now, I'm 24 and married. I have hypersexuality, I think. To counteract what happened cause my wife tells me my ex drive is way too high and that she can't really handle it. I've never told her. I'm too embarrassed. I told her I was a virgin when we met and she was too, so now I'm afraid if I bring it up that I've technically had sex with someone else she would be disgusted with me and leave me. I completely understand not being ready to tell your wife, but I think you need to see a therapist. You're obviously still feeling the effects of being assaulted and it could be really good for you to speak with an expert. Your wife should know, but maybe a quick chat with a therapist could help you organize your thoughts around how to tell her and then she can be an active part of therapy going forward. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or my friend will visit you.